Hey guys, welcome to another exciting game of FIDE World Cup 2019. This game is played between Harikrishna who is on the white pieces, and he is an Indian Grandmaster with a FIDE rating of 2746, and his opponent with the black pieces is Vladimir FIDE, who is a Russian Grandmaster, and his FIDE rating is 2664. So let's get into the game. D4 is played by Harikrishna, and now D5 in response by Vladimir. C4, E6, and this is the Queen's Gambit declined line, Knight to C3, Knight to F6, C takes D5, E takes D5, and this is now the exchange variation, Bishop to G5, pinning this Knight, and now C6. It's you want to defend this piece. E3, white defends this nice center pawn as well, and it's a developing move, freeing up your bishop on this diagonal. And bishop to E7, now getting out of this pin. Queen to C2, the idea behind queen to C2 is to put your bishop on D3 and attack this H pawn, H7 pawn. Knight B to D7, now saying if you want to capture this knight, I'm going to put my other knight here and we're going to have a nice game. Bishop to D3 as planned. Knight to H5. Now that the queen is not on D1, this A5 is not attacked and you can put your knight with no issues. B takes E7, queen takes E7, and now knight G to E2. Just a nice developing move. White can castle either side, and he wants to keep the black king guessing what he wants to do. Knight to B6, another developing move, and now castles but on the queen side. We have G6, solidifying move. King to B1, it's always better, whenever you castle queen side, it's always better to put your king on B1 as soon as you get the opportunity. Bishop to D7, another developing move. Looks like black also wants to castle queen side, but he can also castle king side, even though it's a little bit risky at the moment. Knight to C1. Now this knight is going from C1 to B3 to either A5 or C5, depending on how the position plays out. Knight to G7. Black's plan here is to put the knight back to G7 and to E6, and from there it will either control this square or even jump to it, just depends on what happens in the game. Looks like black king also wants to castle queen side, because all white pieces are supporting the white's king on the queen side, so it's likely that black will castle queen side as well. H4. All of these previous moves have been played before in tournaments, and this H4 is a new move from this position, and it's move 14, and we have a completely new game on our hands. Black castles queen side, and now knight to B3, just like the plan was. Bishop to F5, now asking, do you want to capture this bishop so I can put my knight here, or what do you want to do? Knight to C5 first, solidifying a knight move. King to B8, it's always whichever side you are on, black or white. If you castle queen side, then you want to put your king on either B1 or B8. It's the safest square for the king. So now knight C3 to A4. And this is a very poisonous position. It's turning out to be a poisonous position. Rook to D6, a nice rook lift. Now black wants to put his second rook here on this D file, and hoping the D file opens up pretty soon. Let's see what happens. Bishop takes F5, knight takes F5, and now the knight is also attacking this H pawn here. For now it's defended, but we don't know if the white rook on H1 is going to stay there forever. So H5 immediately undefending it. And you don't really have to mess up your pawn structure by capturing, and then you get this rook captures here. There's no need for it at the moment. So rook to f6, trying to get a nice rook lift. Also attacking this f2 pawn, keeping the pressure constant. And now we have e4, trying to either open up some lines or just get rid of this knight that was here. Knight goes back to g7, and we have e5, further pushing the pawn further and attacking this rook. Rook for now cannot capture, even though it can put some pressure. It cannot capture because this pawn is protected by the queen. Rook to f5. And now you have to decide what white wants to do. If he wants to push h6, or do you want to capture here, or do you want to play something else? Let's see what happens if you push h6. If you push h6, then knight to e6, and now this knight has come into the game for free. I mean, even though you have this pawn here, it's unlikely that you're going to hold on to this pawn for long, because once you move your rook along this file or through the e file and then get your rook onto the queen side for some attacks, this pawn becomes really weak pawn. So none of that was played. We have rook to h3, just a developing move. Now you have a rook left, and you can put your rook on anywhere on this file. So now black has to decide what he wants to do. I mean, do you want to capture the pawn, capture the h pawn? Do you want to capture it with the pawn, or with the rook, or with the knight? Capturing it with the pawn is not a good idea. Again, you will double up your pawns in the a file. There is no need to do all of that. Right now your structure is pretty solid and you want to keep it that way. What happens if knight captures? So we'll show it to you. If knight captures h5, then we get rook to b3, and this is a complete advantage for white because there is so much poison. Knight to g7, you want to get your knight to this wonderful square, to the e6 square, and from there you want to attack this knight and even try to go back here and defend if possible. But it will be too late because knight takes b6, and you have a takes b6. Now you have rook takes b6. So basically what white did here was he eliminated the h pawn for this wonderful a pawn here that was on a7, controlling this a file. Now that this file is semi-open, you can imagine first move would be queen to a4. Now you get knight to a6, and black's position will fall apart. We can show it to you if you want. We get knight to, well, it's black to move, so black has to make some move. Rook to c8. We get even rook captures b7 with check, and you pick up the queen, which is one line that I did not purposely mention because I wanted to show it to you. So once you get queen captures, that's the only move. You get knight captures and king captures. You have one queen for a rook and a knight, so you are a couple of points at least ahead in the game. And from here the game can continue. But after rook to h3, we have rook captures h5, and now rook to b3. Again, an amazing position was reached here. Plays knight to e6. This is a very critical moment in the game because there is so much poison to this position right here. You can have knight captures on this knight. You can even get knight to a6 check. You can get knight captures b6. There is so many things going on. So there is one line that gives white a really good advantage, but unfortunately Harikrishna was not able to find it, and it's an engine line. It's pretty difficult even to calculate. So I'm going to show it to you. Knight to a6 with check. You get b captures a6. Now you capture this knight here, wonderful knight. Knight captures b6, and here there are two options again. You can either capture here from a captures b6, or you can capture with the knight here, and then you attack these two pieces. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if the pawn captures. So pawn captures b6, a pawn captures b6, and then you get rook captures b6 with check. Now if you move the king to a8, then it's all over because you're going to get checkmated soon. And so the best defense is you have to move the king to c8 position. Now you get queen captures, and this is just a crazy position. You're going to get a check here. You can even pick up this rook if the black is not careful. So the only defense is queen to c7. And what are you going to do? Again, you're going to give a check first. So queen to a8 check. Now you have to move the king, or else if you try to block it, you're going to lose your queen, and then you lose your rook, which is, you don't really want to do that. So you block it with king to d7, and now you get queen captures a6. The threat is rook to b7, and you're going to pick up the queen. So you have to hide the king. You have to go back with king to e8, and now look, this rook will finally join the attack with rook to c1, attacking this wonderful queen here. So now, I mean, there are three wonderful pieces attacking the black king. Both the black rooks are pretty much on the h file doing nothing. There's nothing you can do here. I mean, you have to run away with your queen. Once you do that, this rook can come here to c8, this rook can come here to b8, and there's nothing you can do. You have to give up the queen eventually. So this was a wonderful line if we had pawn captures on b6 back in this position, if pawn captures on b6. What happens if knight captures on d4? We'll check out that variation as well. Knight captures on d4, first you get knight captures on d5 with check, opening a discovered check from the rook, and once you capture the rook, you get now knight captures on e7, you eliminate the queen, and this knight again here is stuck. It cannot go anywhere because if it goes here, tries to escape, you're going to get queen to c5, and there is nothing you can do. Even you can capture. Let's just show it to you. If you go to a5 trying to get out, then knight gives a check. Knight captures c6 with check. You have to give up, and now you have an extra piece on the board. And this is always a threat. Once you give a couple of checks with the queen, and it's all over. This is plus 27. The engine evaluates as plus 27.6, and white can easily win this game. But thankfully, none of this was played, and after knight to e6, we have a different variation. Knight captures e6 into the game. So this is what was played in the game. So after knight captures e6, there are two options again. I mean, you can either capture this knight and improve your pawn structure, but then that leads to more complications, and we'll show it to you. So let's say pawn captures on e6, pawn f captures on e6, knight captures on b6, again a captures b6, and again rook captures b6. You have now eliminated this a pawn, and this queen is coming here. You can get another rook lift. There is nothing black can do in this position. There are some chances, but the position, it's better not to play this because your queen and your rooks are stuck, and white has more chances in this position to win. So that was not played. We have after knight captures e6, not pawn captures, but we have this knight here from b6 captures on a4 because even that was attacked. After knight captures a4, we have knight to f4, now rook to f5 attacking the knight, and knight to d3, knight to b6 going back for the defense, and knight to c5. Now look at this beautiful knight. It went from c5 to e6, from e6 it went to f4, and from f4 it went to d3, and then back to c5. An amazing knight move and such knight moves just completely amaze me. So from here, king to a8, getting the king even to a safer square, queen to c3, queen to c7, f3 and rook to e8. Now trying to open up this file. g4, attacking the rook, rook to g5, simply defending, and queen to a5 finally. There is a lot of poison in this position as well. Queen to d8, there's nothing queen can do, it just has to keep an eye on this wonderful piece, because right now rook captures on b6. If the queen moves from these two squares, rook captures b6 is a real threat, because you cannot recapture as the pawn is pinned. So e6, there is a reason why, and this is a beautiful move by Harikrishna. He just wants to close down any files. Obviously, you cannot capture with the rook because there is a knight here that's defending it, so you have to capture with the pawn. And once f captures e6 is played, now the rooks will not be able to get out from any of the files, mainly because this rook is now stuck on this back rank trying to only defend. If not, if the pawn was still on e5, so he pushed e6, so in this position, if the pawn was still on e5 and you play something else, then black has a chance of pushing this pawn, and once the pawn is pushed, then you can create your own passed pawn by pushing it, and you can get some counterplay on the king's side, even though there's so much happening on the queen's side. But Harikrishna did not want any of that, he just wanted to close down the file, so he played e6, forced f captures e6. He gave up a pawn, but to close down any counterplay on the king's side. Rook to a3, now attacking a7 with possibilities of checkmate if the black is not careful enough. But a6, obviously defending, and now knight captures a6. What happens if b captures a6? And we're going to show it to you. If b captures a6, then queen captures a6, king to b8, and now rook to b3, and there is no defense against rook captures here on b6. You will have to lose this knight. So this knight captures a6 was a temporary sacrifice, as you get one knight and two pawns for the two black pawns for the sacrifice of just one knight. So it's basically an amazing move to find. Knight to c4, now attacking these two pieces, but first you get out of this wonderful fork here by queen takes d8 with check. So now you have to capture the queen. We have rook captures d8, and now this wonderful move is knight to c7 with a double check. A check from the rook here and from the knight here. So even if you want to, you cannot capture this rook because it's a double check, and on an occasion of a double check, the only solution you have is to move your king. So right now you have to move your king to the only possible square, that is b8. And now you get knight captures on e6. When knight takes e6, you open up a double attack, a fork on both these rooks, and says, if black captures my rook here on a3, I'm going to capture one of yours. So knight captures a3 with check. We have to get out of this check first. So b captures a3, and you don't have to worry. You still have a fork on these two rooks, so one of those rooks are going to fall. So black decides, I'm going to give up one of my rooks to one of your pawns, because at least I'm going to get a pawn out of it. So rook captures g4, f pawn captures on g4, and now this rook is attacked, so the rook has to make a move. Rook to e8, attacking this knight. Knight moves to knight to g5 and h5, just threatening to capture on g4 or make a pass pawn by pushing it. But white says no, that g captures h5, we have g captures h5, and now rook to h1, simply attacking this pawn here on h5. We have rook to e3, now attacking this a3 pawn. Black says, you take my pawn, I'm going to take your pawn. You decide what to do. And white says, okay, that's exactly what we're doing. And rook captures a5, rook captures a3, and now rook to h3. White here is offering to trade these rooks down because he believes that one piece will be enough to hold a win against one extra pawn. But these three are connected pawns, so it's not easy to calculate all these things. But Harikrishna, being a great GM that he is, he calculated this precisely, and black did not. Vladimir thought, maybe not, maybe I can hold this. So he said rook takes h3 and knight takes h3. Now king to c7, bringing the king closer to the action. King to c2. We have b6, pushing your pawn forward, and knight to f4. Wonderfully placed knight. This knight doesn't have to move because it now guards this square, the d3 square, and once it comes to d3, it can go to b2. From there, it's going to guard various positions on the board. So, king to d7, trying to get the king even closer. King to b3, king to d6, and king to b4. Now c5 check, hoping that white captures this pawn here, and then I can recapture with my b pawn, and the two connected passed pawns will be pretty tough for white to defeat. So black is hoping, for captures, and that would not be such a good thing. So king to b5, not capturing, and now we have c captures on d4. We have king captures on b6, and now king to e5, asking, what do you want to do with this knight? White says, I'm going to put my king forward, because if you capture my knight, I'm going to capture here on d4, which is exactly what happened. King captures knight on f4, and king captures d4. Now this king can never come anywhere closer to guarding this pawn here. So this king is either it can try to hold for a draw, or it's going to lose. It cannot win. So king to f5, and king takes d5, and this was the final position on the board where Vladimir says, well, I've had enough, now I cannot win from here, nor can I hold a draw, and he resigned in this position. This was also the position where Harikrishna got the opposition. An opposition is where you have either one or three squares in between two of your kings, and it's basically wonderful to get an opposition if you're trying to draw, and if none of the other pieces can move, then it's a draw, because you cannot make neither of the sides can make any progress. But we can show it to you as why Vladimir resigned. King to f6 has to be played because you have to try and get to this h8 square, but white king is not going to sit idle here on the center of the board and let you do whatever you want. So he immediately plays king to d6, and I mean, you can try king to f7, now a4 because you have enough time to push it, king to e8. Now all you have to do is go to c7, which is king to c7, and block off king's entrance to this a8 square. So now the king has to go all the way up the board and attack this position this way. But look at how many moves it has to make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves to even attack this square, and in that time this pawn is much faster, and it's going to queen up in the next 4 moves. So king to e7, king to e6. After we have a pawn push, king to e6, now a6, even king to d5, again going after this wonderful pawn, but it's too late. a7, king to c5, and now finally a8, you bring the queen, and this is mate in 7 moves. So if you guys have some time, feel free to pause the video from here and check it out. if you guys found it, congratulations. For those who just want to watch the game, it's king to b4, your king has to go back. Now queen to f3, king to b5, queen to c3, king to a4. Now you have to be careful with this king here. If you, by mistake, if you put your king on say b6 or even c6, then it's a stalemate, because this king will not have any squares to go. These two squares are covered by the queen, these four squares actually are covered by the queen, and this square will be covered by the king, because your king will be on one of either b6 or c6. So you have to be careful. So nothing of that sort. King to b7, just okay, there's a square for you to go, so you have to grab it. King for b5, and now queen to d4, king to a5, the only square you have, king to c6, and after king to a6 you will have queen to b6 with checkmate. But now this was played in the game after king takes d5. In this position on move 54, Vladimir decided to resign, and this was a wonderful game that Harikrishna and played. Harikrishna and Vladimir both eventually were defeated in the tournament, and none of them made to the quarterfinals, but at least we have amazing Indian players who are playing great chess at the World Cup level. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments or concerns or improvements that you want me to make, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will try to improve those. That's it from me. Namaste. See you next time.